Out here in West Texas, land isn't just land. It's boundaries. It's respect. And most importantly, it's private. My name's Daniel Carter, and I own a 40-acre ranch just outside a quiet little town most people have never heard of. No traffic, no noise, just open sky and peace. At least, that's how it used to be. Everything changed the day the new HOA neighborhood got built right next to my land. Brand new houses, clean roads, perfect lawns, and rules. So many rules. Funny thing is those rules didn't seem to apply when it came to me. At first, it started small. Tire tracks. I noticed them one early morning while checking the north fence line. Fresh marks cutting right across my dirt path. Didn't think much of it. Maybe a delivery truck got lost. Maybe someone turned around. No big deal. But then it happened again. And again. Same tracks. Same direction. Straight through my ranch. That's when I realized. This wasn't an accident. Someone was using my property as a shortcut. Now, I'm not the kind of guy who jumps to conclusions. So I set up a simple trail camera near the path. Didn't take long. Next morning, I checked the footage. And there she was. White SUV. Slowly rolling past my gate like it didn't exist. Didn't stop. Didn't hesitate. Just drove right through. Like she owned the place. I rewound the clip 3 times just to be sure. Same car. Same route. Every single day. I asked around town. Took me less than an hour to find out exactly who she was. Her name? Linda Harper. But nobody called her that. Around here, she had a reputation. HOA Karen. President of the new neighborhood association. The kind of person who measures grass height with a ruler. The kind who sends warning letters if your mailbox leans 2 degrees to the left. And apparently, the kind who thought my ranch was her personal driveway. I decided to handle it the right way. No drama. No anger. Just a conversation. Next morning, I parked my truck near the path and waited. Right on time, here she came. White SUV. Cruising like always. Except this time, I stepped right into the road. She slammed on the brakes. Rolled down her window halfway. And gave me that look. You know the one. Annoyed. Entitled. Like I was the problem. Can I help you? She said. I kept my voice calm. Yeah. This is private property. She blinked. Then laughed. Actually laughed. Oh, I know, she said. But this road connects to our neighborhood. It's much faster than going around. I stared at her for a second. Not sure if she was serious. You can't just drive through my land, I said. Her smile faded, just a little. Well, she replied. There's no sign saying I can't. That's when I realized something. This wasn't ignorance. This was deliberate. I'm telling you now, I said. You can't use this road. It's not public. She leaned back in her seat, completely unfazed. I'm the HOA president, she said. We have access rights. I almost laughed. But I didn't. Because I knew exactly how this was going to go. No, you don't, I said. That's when her tone changed. Sharp. Cold. Listen, she said. We've been using this route for weeks. Nobody else has complained. I crossed my arms. I'm complaining. Silence. For a moment, she just stared at me. Then she smiled again. But this time, it wasn't friendly. Maybe you should put up a better gate, she said. And just like that, she drove off. Right past me. Dust kicking up behind her tires. Like the conversation never happened. I stood there for a long time after she left. Watching that dust settle. Thinking. Because now it wasn't just about a shortcut anymore. It was about respect. And she had none. That evening, I checked the camera again. She came back. Same path. Same attitude. Didn't even slow down. That's when I made a decision. If she wanted to ignore the line, I'd make the line impossible to ignore. But I wasn't going to rush it. No. If there's one thing ranch life teaches you, it's patience. And I had a plan. A better gate? That's what she said. Fine. I'd give her one. Something stronger. Something permanent. Something she couldn't just drive through. Or around. But first, I needed to see just how far she was willing to go. And what I found out next changed everything. The next few days, I didn't do anything. No signs. No fences. No confrontation. I just watched. Every morning. Every evening. That same white SUV kept cutting through my ranch like clockwork. But something changed. It wasn't just her anymore. A second car showed up. Then a third. Within a week, it turned into a pattern. Multiple HOA residents started using my land as a shortcut. Tire tracks got deeper. Dust clouds got bigger. And the worst part? They weren't even trying to hide it. That's when I realized. Karen didn't just ignore my warning. She told others. encouraged them, turned my private ranch into their little secret road. Now this was a problem. Because in Texas, land means responsibility. If someone got hurt on my property, that's on me. And judging by the way they were speeding through, it wasn't a matter of if, it was when. So I started documenting everything. Trail cameras, timestamps, license plates, every single vehicle, every single pass. I wasn't guessing anymore. I was building a case. Then came the moment that pushed everything over the edge. It was late afternoon, sun starting to drop. I was out near the lower field checking irrigation lines when I heard it. An engine. Loud. Too fast. I turned just in time to see one of the HOA trucks flying down the dirt path. Way faster than anyone should be driving on uneven ground. And then, the truck hit a dip. Hard. Lost control for a second. Swerved. And barely missed one of my fence posts. If he was 2 feet closer, that post would have snapped. And that truck would have flipped. The driver didn't even stop. Just kept going like nothing happened. Like it was a racetrack. I stood there, fists clenched. Because now it wasn't just disrespect. It was danger. Real danger. That night, I made a call. County office. I explained everything. Trespassing. Repeated access. Safety risks. The guy on the line listened carefully. Then he said something that confirmed what I already knew. If it's private land, they have no legal right to use it. Simple as that. I asked about enforcement. He paused. Well, you can file reports, he said. But honestly, these things take time. Time. That's what they always say. But I wasn't interested in waiting for paperwork while strangers treated my ranch like a highway. No. If they wouldn't respect the law, I'd handle it my way. Legally. But effectively. Next morning, I put up signs. Big ones. Private property, no trespassing. Bright. Clear. Impossible to miss. I installed them right at the entry point. Then I waited. 8:12 a.m. Right on schedule. Here came Karen. White SUV. Confident as ever. She slowed down this time. Just for a second. Looked at the sign. And for a moment, I thought maybe, just maybe, she'd turn around. But no. She smirked. Actually smirked. And drove right past it. Like it meant nothing. Like I meant nothing. That's when I knew. This wasn't about convenience anymore. This was ego. Control. She wasn't just crossing my land. She was testing me. Pushing. Waiting to see if I'd actually do something. So I did. Step 1. I reinforced the gate. Heavy steel frame. Industrial lock. No more easy access. That should have been enough. For a normal person, it would have been. But not Karen. 2 days later, I checked the camera. And there it was. She didn't stop using the road. She didn't turn around. She didn't even hesitate. Instead, she drove around the gate. Through the side field. Crushing a section of my grass to make a new path. I stared at the footage in disbelief. She didn't just ignore the boundary. She created her own. And just like before, others followed. One by one, cars started using the same side route. My land getting carved up piece by piece. That's when something inside me shifted. Because now, this wasn't just trespassing. This was damage. Deliberate, repeated, and escalating. I leaned back in my chair, watching the footage again and again, until one thought became crystal clear. She wasn't going to stop. Not with signs. Not with gates. Not with warnings. So if I wanted this to end, I had to build something she couldn't ignore, couldn't go around, couldn't break, and most importantly, couldn't argue with. A real barrier. Not just a gate. Something final. Something permanent. But I didn't move right away. Because I wanted to do this properly. No loopholes. No mistakes. So I made a few more calls. Checked property lines. Verified boundaries. Got everything documented and approved. If she tried anything after this, she wouldn't just be wrong. She'd be finished. And when everything was ready, I brought in the equipment. Early morning. Before anyone from that HOA even had their coffee. Trucks. Concrete. Steel. And by the time Karen showed up that day, the shortcut she loved so much was about to disappear. For good. That morning was different. I was up before sunrise. And it wasn't because I had to be. It was because I wanted to be. Because today, everything was going to change. By 6 in the morning, the trucks had already arrived. Concrete mixer, heavy steel posts, massive machinery. All of it. Right there at the entrance of that dirt path that Karen thought was her personal shortcut. This time, no complaints, no warning letters. Just action. I stood right there, coffee cup in hand, watching as each piece was put into place. Every measurement precise. Every alignment perfect. Permanent, absolutely permanent. This wasn't just some temporary solution. This was the final answer to the problem. By 7:45, the first layer was already set. Deep concrete foundation. Steel reinforcement, locked and solid. Nobody could move it. Nobody could drive over it. And absolutely, nobody could bypass it. Because this time, I didn't just block the main path. I blocked the sides too. Wide enough, strong enough, and smart enough. There were no shortcuts left. And right on schedule, 8:12 in the morning, here she came. White SUV. Same speed. Same overconfidence. But this time, she slowed down. Not by choice. Because of confusion. Her car rolled closer. And then stopped. Right in front of it. The barrier. Tall steel posts. Anchored deep in concrete. A reinforced crossbeam. Spanning the entire width. Crystal clear. Absolutely clear. No entry. No way through. I watched from a distance. Didn't move. Didn't say a word. She got out of the car. Looked at the structure. Walked a few steps to the side. Then a few more. Trying to find an opening. But there was no opening. Not anymore. Her shoulders tensed up. You could see it. That moment, when reality finally sinks in. She turned. Spotted me standing near my truck. And started walking toward me. Fast. Angry. What is this? She snapped with frustration. I calmly took a sip of my coffee. It's a boundary, I said. Her jaw clenched tight. You can't just block access like this, she said. I raised an eyebrow. Access to what? She pointed behind me. Our neighborhood uses this road. I shook my head. No, I said. You were using it. Silence. For a second, she didn't know what to say. Then she tried again. This is going to create problems, she said. It already was, I replied. She stepped closer, lowered her voice. That fake calm tone people use when they're losing control. You're making a mistake, she said. I smiled. No, I said. I fixed one. That's when she exploded. This isn't over, she said. I'll report this to the HOA. To the county. You can't just. You already did, I interrupted. She froze. Confused. I nodded toward the structure. Everything here is within my property line, I said. Permits checked. Boundaries verified. Her expression changed. Just slightly. From anger to uncertainty. And all that footage. I continued. Every car. Every pass. Every time you ignored the warning. Now she was silent. Because she knew. This wasn't a bluff. I stepped a little closer. Still calm. Still steady. If anyone wants to push this further, I said, we can. A long silence. Wind, moving across the open land. Dust, settling around both of us. And for the first time, since I'd met her, she had no response. No argument. No comeback. Just silence. She turned. Walked back to her SUV. Sat inside for a few seconds thinking. Then reversed. Slowly. Carefully. And drove away. The long way. But the story doesn't end here. The real satisfaction came over the next few days. Because one by one, the other cars stopped showing up too. No more tire tracks. No more dust clouds. No more shortcuts. Just silence. Peace. Undisturbed. Like it used to be. A week later, I received a letter. From the HOA. Formal tone. Carefully written. Requesting a discussion about shared access concerns. I read it once. Then set it aside. Didn't respond. Because there was nothing left to discuss. The message was already clear. And that barrier? Still standing. Just as strong as before. Unmoved. Unchallenged. And untouched. Out here, in this area, respect isn't something you can ask for. It's something you enforce. And Karen? She learned that lesson. Finally. The hard way. The end of the story. But the beginning of memorable moments. This wasn't just a barrier. This was a message. This was a stand. And this was a victory. Small, but mine. The truth is, sometimes in life you have to draw a line. You have to say, enough, this is where it stops. And when you do that, with truth and courage, people understand. Karen understood. The HOA understood. And all those cars that thought it was a shortcut, they understood too. Now there was peace on my land. On my terms. My right. And nobody had the nerve to cross that line again. This story ends here. But the lesson learned will be remembered forever. Taking a stand is necessary. Respect isn't something you deserve, it's something you enforce. And sometimes, concrete and steel are better answers than words. Narrator's final words. Friends, this story ends here. Karen learned her lesson. The path was blocked, and my property became mine again, completely. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button. And if you want us to bring more real-life revenge and justice stories like this, then subscribe to the channel and press that bell icon, because the next episode is going to be even more explosive. Until then, take care of yourself. Keep your boundaries clear. And remember, respect doesn't come from asking, it comes from showing. Stay strong, stay sharp, and never let anyone walk over what's rightfully yours. Because out here, in the real world, actions speak louder than words. Barriers speak louder than arguments. And standing your ground, that speaks loudest of all. Karen thought she could keep taking that shortcut forever. She thought I'd just keep complaining, keep asking nicely, keep hoping she'd change. But hope isn't a strategy, and niceness has its limits. So I stopped hoping, I stopped asking, and I started building, brick by brick, steel by steel, until there was no room for doubt, no room for negotiation, and definitely no room for shortcuts. Now every morning when I wake up, I don't hear the rumble of tires on my land. I don't see dust clouds rising where they shouldn't. I just see peace. My land, my rules, my victory. And Karen, she takes the long way now. Every single time. Not because I asked her to, but because she has no other choice. And that, my friends, is how you win. Not with anger, not with revenge, but with strategy, with preparation, and with one permanent, unmovable, undeniable message. This far, no further. So if you're out there, dealing with your own Karen, your own boundary crosser, your own person who just won't listen, remember this story. Remember that words have their place. But sometimes, action is the only language people understand. Build your barrier, stand your ground, and never, ever, back down from what's rightfully yours. Because in the end, respect isn't given. It's earned, it's enforced, and it's protected. This is your narrator, signing off. Stay blessed, stay strong, and keep those boundaries rock solid. Until next time.